What's up, everybody? Happy New Year, and welcome to the first video of 2021 with Look at Life Project. I'm so glad that you could be here. Now, I just want to give a little bit of a warning. As soon as you hear the intro of this video, you're going to want to click away because the audio quality is not great. Here's why. I filmed this video over 6 months ago, and in that time, I've learned a little bit about audio. I know I have a lot left to learn, but you might hear it and be like, well, I don't want to listen to this. I'm going to ask you very nicely, hang with me because it's just for the intro and this video is really important to me and I think that you're really gonna like it. Let's treat this intro like 2020 and just get through it. Better things are ahead. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back for another year of Look at Life Project. You guys are the best. Let's get to it. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Allison Mascarello. Allison Crystal Mascarello the first, and I'm back with another video for Look at Life Project. You know how it is, or how we do, or whatever cool YouTubers say. If you're new, welcome to my channel. Love it if you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. Every time I upload a new video, you will be made aware by YouTube, so thank you for that, YouTube. If you are returning, welcome back. Glad you're here. Gonna get a little serious with this video because this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and my husband and I are moving to Nashville in 1 week, so I'm running out of time to do this. Let's get the show on the road. So, I want to take you on a journey. Many of you have asked me to do a video talking about my story, which includes topics like depression, faith, overcoming a perspective that changed the way I look at life. In order to do that, we need to go on a little road trip. Beaver Lake, Nebraska was a great place to grow up. I miss waking up to the sound of jet skis hitting the waves. There was always something to do, someone to see, something going on. I have a great family, a great house, and lots of amazing memories. So, why, you might ask, was I so sad? The first place that challenged my perspective was here. I guess I've come to realize that depression doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care if you have the coolest family, which I do. It doesn't care if you have friends, happy memories, money. Sadness can happen to anyone. I don't have to detail everything that happened to me to make me feel sad. For me, it wasn't about one big event, but it was about a way of thinking. Once I tasted depression, I let it grow. I let it tell me things that weren't true. I let it define my perspective, shaping memories and changing reality. I kept it all to myself. One of the biggest things that I want to do with this video is correct the memories and see them with a new perspective. With help or the right resources, I believe that I would have seen unlimited opportunity, friends around every corner, beautiful days on the lake. So here's stop number 1. Home. I want to acknowledge what an amazing upbringing I had, what a stunning backdrop to a happy childhood. I guess I'm using this video to take back memories that depression took, and I'm so grateful that you're coming with. Let's check out the next stop. This place is called Tomcats, forever in my mind. Now it's just a rundown building, but my parents used to own the coolest pizza joint. My mom made the sauce from scratch and by taste every day. I wish I could describe how good her cooking is. If you know, you know. And really great memories here. Ghost stories, video games, pizza parties, karaoke, live music, family events. But I wish I would have appreciated it more. My parents said goodbye to this brilliant community because they didn't want to miss our plays and our games and band concerts to own a business. They walked away from a dream to be with their kids, and I can't give them enough credit. But also, long live Tomcats. Okay, so now we're going to head a little further west. This is going to take you through a town called Murray, where I went to elementary, middle, kind of, and high school. They were all in the same small town, which could be a lot of the reason why my perspective started to shift. Middle school is where you start to realize either you fit in or you don't. Here's where I could have used a little perspective. When your parents tell you that you're special and that it's good to be unique, it's not just a feel-good phrase. It's a life motto. You don't need to be like everybody else. You weren't created to be or meant to be like everyone, but you were created to have compassion and to care. We think in order to make it in life, we have to fit into these bubbles, to these groups, to these labels, if you will, and really, in order to make it through life, you have to learn to be decent, even though others are not. Had I realized in middle school that not fitting in wasn't that big of a deal, I could have saved myself a lot of heartache. So by the time I headed to high school, I had already predetermined in my mind, I don't fit in. People don't like me. They don't get me. They don't know me. And I'm not special. I'm not as amazing as I wanted to be deep down. And so every experience that I had in high school was painted with the idea that I wasn't enough, and changed the way that I looked at everything that happened to me. And it didn't have to. Now, I don't want to downplay what people go through when they deal with clinical depression and other types of mental health issues that actually do require professional help, which I'll get to in a little bit. I will leave some resources in the links in the description of this video, as well as on my website, lookatlifeproject.com. I am not against or opposed to seeking professional help. I'm actually really very much for it. So please don't hear me downplay depression. I just think that a change of perspective is one really big piece that could have played a role in my story. It's not the entire resolution, so just stick with me. I feel like there are a lot of memories from high school that I could take back, that I could redo, that I could have a positive experience with, had I not let depression and a lack of perspective paint the way that I looked at every experience. I wish that I could go back and see that not everybody was thinking about me as much as I thought they were. And I think that I would have walked away a lot happier, knowing that I was confident in who I was. And honestly, I kind of like me. So I think that other people would have too, if everything that I did wasn't shrouded with thoughts and fears of not fitting in. In the case of getting to know who Allie was, not only did I miss out, but other people missed out, because I'm pretty all right. 10 years down the road, I would go to my high school reunion, and although I dreaded it and thought it would be horrible, really what I found was that people didn't have the negative memories about me that I thought they did. And I remember sitting there making a joke about how I didn't have any friends. And one of my former classmates looked at me and said, "What are you talking about? We were always friends." And it was then that I realized that While I do have specific memories of being bullied and laughed at and hurtful moments where I didn't fit in and I knew that I wasn't a part of the crowd, there were also a lot of people who considered themselves lifelong friends that I could have enjoyed a lot more, that I could have been a better friend to, that I could have made a lot more fun and impactful memories with. I guess what I'm trying to say is 10 years later, I realized that my classmates weren't the monsters that I had made them to be in my head. They were just teenagers trying to figure out how to live life and how to fit in and how to be and who to be, just like I was. I wish I wouldn't have missed out on a lot of relationships with people that I went to school with. Here's to building new relationships with old friends. What I didn't tell you about my high school experience is that this is where depression really started to win, and I didn't ask for help when I should have, and I didn't know how to battle the thoughts that were going on in my head. The loneliness that I created in my own mind made me feel like if I wasn't around, nobody would be that sad, which I now know is far from the truth, but in high school led me down a path of self-harm. Hello?
Cakes.
Hi.
What you doing, sweetheart?
Filming.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. What time are you going to be home?
Not sure. I have one more place to go after this. Why? What's up?
Nope, nothing's up. What's the other place?
The hospital that I went to when I was 16. Through a series of events, which at that time I thought to be quite unfortunate, but now realize have changed my life, I ended up leaving high school in front of everyone with 2 police officers and a social service worker, and they took me to the hospital and I was admitted to the psychiatric unit. I won't get into a lot of details because I don't think they're as important as life after depression, but I will say if you are feeling like a burden or feeling like nobody would miss you, it is not wrong or shameful to ask for help. It is not embarrassing. It's healthy and it's worth it because the world would not be a better place without you in it. And I hope that this video brings you hope and makes you realize that there is life beyond your worst moment, life beyond your darkest days. So here's mine. It was at this very hospital where I laid in a bed and thought, how did I get here? Now I realize it was just a beautiful part of my story to lead me to where I am today. After 3 days, I was able to leave the hospital and I was required by the state to attend counseling. Again, I can't reiterate enough how much I support reaching out for help for your mental health and taking care of yourself. It is heroic and brave to do the right thing and care for you so that you can be a complete and whole person. There's nothing like the feeling of being on the other side of depression, on the other side of self-harm, on the other side of feeling like nobody would miss you if you were gone. I'd miss you. And I think there are a lot more people that would too. After a few months of counseling, I was introduced to one of the most influential things that changed my life. Now, I will never push this idea on my channel. I will never tell you what you should believe. However, it is an important part of my story, so I do want to add that one of the greatest factors of change in my life is when I was introduced to the idea of faith. It was on December 19th of 2004 when I first stepped foot in a church. I was rushed with feelings of, oh my gosh, another place where I don't belong. I shouldn't be here. And instead, I was welcomed by what I choose to believe is God with open arms, and somebody who wasn't embarrassed by me and knew everything about me and still chose to love me. And if you want to talk about that in a private message, I'd be more than happy to do so. However, the main purpose of my channel is not to get you to believe what I believe or think the way that I think, but it also is important to me that you know that faith played a huge role in my life turning around. And I couldn't be more grateful to the time that I spent in this tiny church and the time that I've spent in churches after that, telling my story, leading youth ministries, getting to speak at conferences and live my dream and feel alive and feel like I had purpose. And I credit faith and God to me finding purpose again, to me figuring out who I really am. And I want to say that I know that not everybody has a great experience with church, and for that I am so incredibly sorry for the hurt that religious people have caused you in the name of their own beliefs. And trust me when I say people can suck. People can fail, but that's because they're people. They're not God. So if you ever want to give faith another chance, I'm happy to talk about it with you. Let's keep going. It was at this church in Bellevue where I started to realize that my pain could give me purpose and that I could use my experience with depression to help other people realize that joy and happiness and peace are possible even when life is really difficult and days are really dark. And I found so much fulfillment and peace and purpose in this place. It also happens to be the place where I met my husband and so many lifelong friends and mentors, and for that, I am forever grateful. This is one of the places that changed my life for the better. And so, here we are. Today we are in January of 2021. My dog is knocking at the door. We are in January of 2021, and I am living in Tennessee with my husband and my 2 dogs. I am still on this YouTube and blogging journey, and the reason that I'm doing that is because I found purpose in sharing my story and purpose in bringing joy to others who might have experienced some of the sorrow that I did, whether it comes from a traumatic event or it comes from a long history of not being able to fight the perspective that crept into your brain. I want to bring a perspective that might help you change the way that you look at life, the way that you see your life, so that you can see the beauty in it even when it's ugly, even when it's hard. I want you to look at life and see that it's good. I thought it was important to go back to the places where my perspective was wrong and change the narrative and smile in the face of bad memories and make them new again. So I hope that you enjoyed my story. I can honestly look back at my life with happiness and gratitude. And again, if you need any resources, I'm going to link some in the description below. And there's also a page for overcoming depression on my website, lookatlifeproject.com. I am in no way a professional, so if you need professional help, I would encourage you to seek that. There is no shame in asking for help so that you can live your best life and be the best you. I love you guys. This has been a special video from Look at Life Project. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back for the next one. Bye.